Namaste children.
Namaste, sir.
Dear children, in the previous class, you have understood that public facilities is the government responsibility and they should take proper steps to provide the same. Also, you have understood that these public facilities will become cheap and affordable if it is provided collectively. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Children, there is absolutely no doubt public facilities must be made available to everyone. But the reality is, as we see, there is a great difference and shortage of these facilities. You also know water is an essential thing, and providing water as a public facility is of great importance. If you take Chennai, there is a shortage of water facilities in some places. Say for example, in some areas in Chennai, water is available in abundance, but in other areas it is very less. And also, wherever areas are nearer the storage points, there they get water. In other areas, they get very less water. And the middle class people, they somehow manage, if there is a shortage of water, by way of getting water through water tankers, and also they purchase bottled water. The real problem is for the poor people. They are not in a position to spend money, and they are the worst hit. Apart from availability of water, access to safe drinking water is not available for everyone. It is available only for some. As a result, again the poor people, they are at loss. Children, achieving universal access to sufficient and safe water is still a mirage. That means it is still a dream for many, and especially for the poor people. Now, let us discuss how water is taken from the farmers in Tamil Nadu. See, when there is a shortage of water, the doors of opportunities is open to private companies, and they are ready to grab the situation. In Tamil Nadu, that too in Chennai nearby towns like Palar and other places, they are getting the water, believe it or not, using 13,000 water tankers. The water dealers, they give advance amount to the villagers, and they will take a right to explore the water sources. Since most of the water is already taken in these towns and also nearby villages, the groundwater level has considerably fallen. Children, let us discuss about what is known as in search of alternatives for providing water. Please remember, Chennai is not the only place where shortage of water is there. Especially during summer, in most of the cities in India, there is acute shortage of water. Cities like metro cities like Delhi, Bombay, Kolkata, Chennai, Bangalore. I would like to narrate an incident that has happened in the last summer. See, my relatives are staying in Banashankari area in Bangalore. So many houses are built, in a thickly populated way. Just like populations are thick, houses are also like that. Believe it or not, I have examined every house, just like having a tap, they have a borewell. Every house has a borewell. Recent summer, what happened? The water table underground has completely vanished and there was no water in anybody's borewell. Now, why I am telling this is, there is a limit for taking water or anything from the earth. So, when there is so much of houses and population coming up, we have to have an alternative things. And we must also know how to spend not more water, but within the available water, how to survive. See, for your information, private companies during this time only they come to the forefront and they are ready to sell water for more profit. See, in our country, there is inequitable distribution of water. Let us discuss about inequalities in water usage. According to Urban Water Commission, they say in urban area 135 liters of water should be used per person, that is equivalent to 7 buckets of water. In slum area, it is only 20 liters, it is equivalent to 1 bucket of water. Whereas in luxury hotels, 1600 liters of water can be spent, it is equivalent to 80 buckets of water. So, this is the saying of Urban Water Commission. For your information, if there is a shortage of municipal water, that is the sign of what is known as the government failure. Let me repeat, if there is a shortage of municipal water, that is a sign of the failure of the government. Therefore, government must take proper initiative to supply water to the people. Now, I have a hypothetical question for all of you. What do you mean by hypothetical question? Just guessing. Suppose if the government withdraws from the task of supplying water to the people, what will happen? My goodness, there will be a lot of problems. And some people argue private companies can do better than the government. I am not telling we should accept this. This is the people views. Let them say. The first fact is, water supply is the function of the government throughout the globe. Very few instances are there where private parties supply the water. The second fact is, there are many areas in the world where by supplying the water in an appropriate way, they have achieved universal access. Children, just now I mentioned, there are some places in the world where they have achieved the concept of universal access to water. I would like to give you one example about water supply in Porto Alegre. Porto Alegre is a city in Brazil. Here there are very poor people living, and believe it or not, the infant's death rate is very low compared to any other city in the entire world. Added to this water department in this city, that is Porto Alegre, they are providing safe drinking water. As a result, the infant's death has considerably fallen, something to be appreciated. And they are not charging more money for water, and especially for the poor people, they are charging half of the basic rate. Added to this, whatever profit they get, they use it for improving the water situation in that city. Believe it or not, everyone prizes Porto Alegre city, and the department of water in that city is highly transparent. Anybody can go and find out what they are doing. So that way, this is something very interesting to know how they are protecting infants from the death. The reason is they are supplying clean drinking water. You remember in the previous class I told you, in India, so many thousands of Indians, especially children below the age of 5, are dying every day because they are not in a position to get the safe drinking water. So this is about Porto Alegre. The next important country I would like to mention, in South America there is a place called Bolivia. You all know about it. Bolivian government has withdrawn the private companies which used to provide water for the people, because they were charging exorbitantly and people were unable to pay the amount. This is the story of Bolivia. In India also, there are some successful stories of the government regarding the supply of water. Two important places are Bombay, otherwise known as Mumbai, and Hyderabad. They are doing good work. In Chennai, they are now putting their lot of effort in collecting rainwater. They are saving rainwater, and of course they make use of private agencies for supplying, especially for transportation and for distributing the water. You understand, children?
Yes, sir.
Children, let us now discuss what is known as sanitation facilities. You see, apart from water facilities, sanitation play a major role in preventing waterborne diseases. So, sanitation is very, very important. In India, right from the independence till 1980s, the sanitation was not given appropriate place. We suffered because of non-existence of sanitation facilities. In 2001, only 68% of the households had water facilities. 36% was having sanitation facilities. That means toilets in their own home or in their home premises. Children, in India we have what is known as Sulabh. It is actually Sulabh Shauchalay. Sulabh Shauchalay. This is a non-governmental organization and it has given lot of importance to the question of sanitation. It has constructed 7,500 public toilets, 1.2 million private toilets, catering to the needs of sanitation facilities of 10 million people at a nominal rate, at a cheaper rate. I think this needs to be appreciated. Children, how many of you know about Swachha Bharat mission? Who will answer? All of you know this?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Sir, I have a question.
What is your question?
Sir, when was Swachh Bharat Abhiyan launched?
Okay. You know about Swachha Bharat scheme or mission or Abhiyan, but you don't know when it is started. Actually, it was launched on October 2nd, 2014. Why it was launched on October 2nd means that year was 145th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. That was the attraction. That is how the Swachha Bharat mission was started on October 2nd, 2014.
Sir, I have a question.
Oh, what is your question?
Sir, who launched Swachh Bharat mission?
All right. Everyone knows this, but still I will answer. Okay. Our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, it is he who launched the Swachha Bharat mission, Swachha Bharat Abhiyan. Actually, what he did, he took a broom along with his team in Delhi and started sweeping to show that this Swachha Bharat scheme must be implemented in a meaningful way. So, we must congratulate Modi and his team for starting this. Children, from 2014 onwards, lot of efforts have been put by the central government to improve the public facilities to everyone right from Himalaya down to Kanyakumari, including northeastern states. Let us take what are the facilities they are providing. Number one, water. I have already told you, up to 2001, water was not available in every household, but now nearly 90 to 92% of the households are getting water. In rural areas also, lot of improvement has been done for getting drinking water. This is an achievement. Then we will talk about sanitation. That is also a very important thing. I am very much interested to explain to you sanitation in villages. Up to 1980, you see, where is 1947, where is 1980? Even in 1980, there was only 1% coverage was there as far as sanitation in villages are concerned. And everyone has to go for defecation in open. And many have suffered, especially girls and women. They have suffered like anything because of so many gunda elements in the village, nearby village. Thanks to Swachh Bharat scheme, now they have provided in almost all the villages throughout the country toilet facilities. Girls and women need not go out of their home for defecation. Now it is, everything is taking place well within their toilets in their own home. See, in Karnataka, I have visited nearly 70 to 75 villages recently. 2, 3, not even 2, 3, say just 2 years back. Even now I am going to so many villages. Every village, in every house, there is a toilet. This is something great because this has saved the safety of women. Otherwise, the safety of women and girls were in very danger. So again, what is the percentage they have achieved in providing sanitation? They have given water facility as well as toilet facilities. 98% of the villages have this facility now. So sanitation has improved like anything, especially from 2014 down to 2020. In 2019, so much of funds were spent and all the villages are now having the toilets in their own houses. It is an achievement and it is good. Now, let me talk to you about electrification. See, electricity is an important aspect. See, we are all sitting in such a bright light here, seeing each other. Our nation suffered, especially villages, without electrification. The villages suffered. And night time means a kind of fear. But now, under Swachh Bharat scheme, almost 100% villages are electrified.
Sir, I have a question.
Please.
Sir, how many villages are there in India?
Okay, this is a good question. Actually, I have checked in the Google. As on December 2019, there are 6,64,369 villages in our country. All the villages have been provided with electricity. The last village was in 2018 in Manipur. So that way, 100% success. This has been announced by our Prime Minister also. So this is something positive. Some years back, there was absolutely no electricity facilities. Now it is there. So we must thank the Swachh Bharat mission. Now let me move to what is known as a very important thing is a facility that is needed for preparing the food in every home.
Sir, I have a question.
Please.
Sir, what is Ujjwala Abhiyana?
Oh, very good question. I will come to that. I will answer you. Rachana has asked, what is Ujjwala scheme? I will tell you now. Before that, I want to tell you this. You see, years ago, in villages, most of them were huts. And whenever they prepare food, whenever they burn wood, rubber and everything they used to put, and lot of smoke used to come within the house. The house lady, actually, she is forced to smoke, inhale the smoke. She is forced to inhale the smoke that is coming out of the chula. As a result, most of the women suffered from problem of lungs. Believe it or not, a study has been conducted and it is said a lady who inhales smoke while preparing the food from morning till evening in a day, it is equivalent to smoking 400 cigarettes per day. Believe it or not. And slowly certain improvements took place, and then Indian Institute of Science has developed what is known as Astra Vale.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Sir, what is Astra Vale?
Okay, I will tell you. It's a good question. Bhuvana has asked. See, Astra, A-S-T-R-A, it stands for Application of Science and Technology for Rural Advancement. That is called Astra. Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, they have improved what is known as Vale, otherwise it is called Chula. Astra Chula, when it is used, the smoke will not be there inside the kitchen, it will go out, something meaningful. So this Astra Vale or smokeless Chula, in Udupi also they have done, in Karnataka. There is a place called Ungura in Tumakuru. There also all these things has been experimented. Even in our Regional Institute of Education, Mysore, we have displayed Astra Vale as part of our exhibition. Now why I am telling this is, there must be some improvement, otherwise health problem will be there. And then under the umbrella of Swachh Bharat scheme, now from 2016 onwards, this Ujjwala LPG connection came up. What is this Ujjwala? According to our Prime Minister and his team of ministers, Ujjwala scheme is to provide gas cylinders to all the villagers. Believe it or not, from 2016 to 2020, they have provided 10 crores of LPG cylinders. 10 crores, out of which 4 crores LPG connections has been given to women who are poor, who cannot afford to buy. So now, in almost all the houses in the villages, they are using this Ujjwala scheme and getting the cylinder and preparing the food without any problem. This is something meaningful and appreciable. You understand, children?
Yes, sir.
You all know, as per the constitution, all citizens of this country are eligible for public facilities. Therefore, public facilities must be provided to every person in an equitable manner. This is a very important thing. You understand, children?
Yes, sir.
Children, now I would like to summarize what all we have learned in today's class. You have understood it is the responsibility of the government to provide public facilities in a meaningful way to all. You have seen in Chennai how the supply of water is there and how a few areas gets more water compared to other areas. You have also understood safe drinking water is not available especially for a poorer section because they are not in a position to pay. You have also understood that how some of the private companies gets water from the towns nearby Chennai and makes lot of money. You are also able to appreciate during summer most of the cities in our country will have an acute shortage of water. I explained about Bangalore, especially the Banashankari area. And also, you have understood that achieving universal access to safe drinking water and sufficient water is still in many areas a dream, a mirage. Something substantial must be done to improve the situation. And I have put a hypothetical question to all of you. You remember, suppose if the government withdraws from the task of supplying water, what will happen? Then naturally the private companies will grab the situation. We must not allow to do that. And I have discussed about what is known as some of the facts, like throughout the globe, throughout the world, the function of the government is to supply water. Here and there, a private services may be there. And also, we were able to understand that universal access to water was achieved in a meaningful way in a city called Porto Alegre in Brazil, and how they have able to provide safe drinking water, thereby the death rate of infants has come down, something very important. See, wherever infants' deaths are less, that means there is a very good scheme of providing safe drinking water, because most of the diseases comes because of waterborne infection, waterborne diseases, that all of you understand. And in that city of Porto Alegre, the charges they collect for water is very less, and especially for the poorer section, half of the basic rate they collect, and everything is transparent in that place. Also, you have understood importance of sanitation. Just like water is important, sanitation is equally important. What for? To prevent what is known as infections, waterborne infections. And you have understood that in 2001 only 68% households in India were getting water, only 36% they had a sanitation, that means the toilets within their house premises. Especially after launching of Swachh Bharat Mission or Abhiyan by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi on October 2nd, 2014, that is 145th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi ji, and down to present 2014 to 2020, lot of improvements the country has seen, especially in the areas of sanitation in villages. Almost all 99% of the villages have now good sanitation facility. That is very, very important. Sanitation speaks about the progress of the nation. Please remember, just like we say, roads speaks about the progress of the nation. And then we have understood water facilities, improvement in sanitation, electrification of villages. 6,64,396 villages have been electrified. It is almost 100% achievement. And under Ujjwala scheme, 10 crores households has been given, especially in villages, the LPG connection, and 4 crores LPG connection has been given free to poor women. And you have also understood how Swachh Bharat scheme is giving lot of importance to public facilities. For your information, Mysore city, from where we are discussing this, has achieved the name of clean city. 2019, 2020 now, the cleanest city is Mysore city. You won't see any dirt or anything if you go around the Mysore city. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Children, I will give you few questions as part of exercise, and you should try to answer. The first question is, write in your own words the meaning of providing of water is a public facility. The second question, how do you manage the problem of water in summer? What do you understand by universal access to water? What is the percentage of water consumed by urban people as per Urban Water Commission? Why are most of the hospitals and schools are started by the private group of people in cities and not in towns and villages? Take some of the public facilities available in your area and complete the following table. The first column is public facilities. Second column is it available? The third column is, if not, how to improve it. Under the public facilities, number 1, water. Number 2, electricity. Number 3, roads. Number 4, sanitation. Write in your own words briefly about Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Next question. What is the percentage of sanitation facilities provided in villages? Next question. How many villages in our country have been electrified recently? Write a brief note on Ujjwala Yojana of our country. How many village households have been provided with LPG connection? Last question. What is the role of Sulabh, a non-governmental organization? Children, these are the questions. Please think and answer, discuss among yourselves and give to the teachers. I am sure you all have enjoyed and understood what all we have discussed in today's class. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, students.
Thank you, sir.